Hi everybody, welcome to Storytime with Alex, reading From Allbyon to Britannia, Book 1, The Witches of Old Albion by Brandy Pearson. Today we have little story in its entirety. So sit down comfortably and we will read The Old Tale of the White Hill. In Old Albion, people measured time by the turning of the seasons rather than the years of our Lord. Kings and queens came and went in the city of the White Tower, but they did not feature in the lives of most ordinary people, who relied much more on witches, wizards, and the church than on royalty and their followers. However, amongst the many, many stories told, there were some from a time before the days of Old Albion, from the time before witches and wizards, and before the land was called Albion at all. These tales were always attached to particular places, and often to particular times of the year. One of these places was a strange hill in the middle of a plain in the south-central area of Old Albion. It was a strange area with ancient stone circles, including one so big that a whole village had come to be built at its centre. Although the village was covered in grass, it was called the White Hill, and the nearby village by the Kennet River was called Whiton? Anywho. The story they told of the White Hill was that in the olden days, before Albion, but after the flood, an ancient people built the hill and covered it with chalk so that it was seen gleaming white for many miles. This tale gives the reason. In the days before Old Albion, there was a village just by the place where the White Hill now stands, whose name has long been forgotten. As in later days, particular times of the year were marked by celebrations which always included bonfires, great feasts, and much dancing. One such feast took place as autumn started to look towards winter. In the village whose name has been forgotten, food had been gathered and kindling for the bonfire, and on the day of the feast all the villagers came together to make the preparations for the festivities, which would start as dusk fell. It was the custom that an elder of the village would take care of the younger ones on such a day. Sorry, I had a small fly on me. But that year, the granny given the task was very old and given to falling asleep. However, the villagers were so taken up with the coming feast they did not notice when she dozed off in her chair. After a while, during the afternoon, the children grew bored. The adults told them to go back to the granny, but she was sound asleep, and so the children of the village, including the only daughter of the village chief, wandered away into the forest that grew all about in those days. They knew that they should always stay within sight of their home, but as they played a chasing game, they were drawn further and further into the woods and became lost. It was much later when the adults, having finished their preparations, came to find their children, but all they found was the granny asleep and the children gone. The chief was angry with the granny, but she was very upset and had no idea where the children had gone. He soon realized he was wasting time with her and put his mind to finding the children. The best hunters were sent off to find any signs of their footprints, and the rest of the villagers set out in the 4 directions, calling to their lost sons and daughters. Dusk descended, but the people carried on their search, and just as night fell, one of their greatest hunters found the footprints of the children in soft ground, leading into the mouth of a dark cave. The village chief took a torch and entered into the cave. The floor sloped gently downwards, curving neither to left nor right, but it was not long before he had to stop. He could go no further, for there was a dark presence before him that barred his way. Not even to find his daughter could he take another step. His torch went out, and there was nothing but darkness before him. A voice like the rustling of a forest full of leaves boomed out of the darkness. "Go no further, leave us be." The village chief cried out, "Give us back our children." The voice cried out, "Go no further, leave us be." The chief cried out again, "Give us back our children." The children came of their own free will. They heard our singing and came to listen and to dance with us. We will not give them back. "Give us back our children, or you will regret it." The dark presence that he felt grew stronger. The chief called out, and the young men of the village came forward with weapons and more torches. 2 of the torches remained alight, but illuminated nothing before them, and no matter how strongly they pushed forward, they could not take another step. The voice came again. "Go away." Then the wife of the chief spoke from the mouth of the cave. "Wait, maybe there is a better way." She came forward and spoke to the darkness. "Can we not talk about this reasonably? The children are young. Our daughter is only 7. Ask her if she never wants to see her parents again, nor her home. Ask her friends. They have wandered into your land to listen to your music, which I'm sure must be very beautiful. They are not going to want to stay forever. My husband does not intend to threaten you, nor frighten you, nor invade your home. He loves our daughter and wants her to come home safely. We all love all our children. Why do we not sit down as friends and drink a little beer and eat bread together?" "Beer and bread," said the voice. "We do not know what these are." "They are food and drink, bread to eat and beer to drink. And if the beer is strong, then we all grow merry and sing and dance together." There was silence for a while, and the voice said, "Bring beer and bread. We wish to see such wonders." The people of the village hurried away and brought the deliciously freshly baked bread and strong beer that they had made for their feast, and set them down on the floor of the cave on a wooden platter. "Take away the light," said the voice. "We do not wish you to see us." And so the people of the village sat down in the cave and put out the torches. There was a rustling noise, like that of a stream or the wind in the trees, and the villagers were aware that others had come and sat down in the darkness. In the darkness hands stretched out and took some of the bread and clay and beakers of beer, which were returned empty. When all had eaten bread and drunk beer together, the voice said, "Let us sing and dance together in the darkness." And the voice began to sing an unknown song, and drums were heard in the darkness. The villagers stood and began to dance and clap their hands, and they heard other hands clapping and feet stamping in time to the song. Then the villagers sang one of their favourite songs, and in the darkness they heard hands clapping and drums beating in the darkness. When the song finished, for a moment there was silence. Then the village children, led by the daughter of the chief, suddenly ran forward from the dark, and their parents scooped them up and hugged them. "Thank you," said the chief's wife. "Thank you," said the chief and the other villagers. "We are sorry that we brought you grief," said the voice from the darkness. "Thank you for the beer and the bread and the dancing. If you will bring us beer and bread as night falls on this day each year, we will open the door and come and sing and dance with you until midnight comes. But do not come at any other time. We want no visitors to our home, and no one who comes again will ever return to you." The chief said solemnly, "We will build a great warning to others to keep away from this place, but we will come at dusk on this day every year, and at no other time, and we will bring bread and beer, and we will dance in the dark with you." When the people of the village asked the children where they had gone, they told them they had followed the music into the cave, and then down a path through a stone doorway, and then out into a green meadow by a wide river in a land they did not know. All they would say about the people that they met there, who came to be known as the others, was that they were green and leafy and liked to dance and sing, and it was said that when she grew up, the chief's daughter was the first witch in Allbyon. The story was told that the people of the village built the white hill over the entrance to the other world as a warning to others to leave the others be. Every year on the anniversary of that day, as dusk fell, the doorway to the other world would open in the side of White Hill, and the people who lived nearby would leave beer and bread on a wooden platter inside the entrance for the others. When night fell, they would light a great bonfire in a special place near the foot of the hill. They would sing and dance around the fire, an old song that was said to have come from the other place, and the others would come and sing and dance with them, but always just beyond the light of the fire. At midnight, the others would leave quietly, and the door would be closed for another year. Although there were no remains of that village, the tradition carried on down the years. The day that the doorway opened was, in old Albion, All Hallows Eve. The people of the village of Witham became those who kept up this old tradition of beer and bread and dancing, which became known as the Halloween hospitality. The end. Oh, I hope you enjoyed that. Now, there are, after this, a whole bunch of songs and rhymes, but I'm not going to read them, so if you want them, you will have to purchase this fine book. Because I'm doing story time. So please do come back and join me next time. Thank you very much.